Jai Shri Ram. This is a story from the Mahabharata. Yudhishthira became king. He was sitting on the throne, and one day two men approached him. Both of them were disowning a treasure chest. The backstory is one fellow sold a piece of land to another, and the one who bought the piece of land was stealing, and he found a treasure chest full of gold and silver and diamonds. But he went back to the owner who sold the land. He went back to the original owner and said, "This is not mine, because I bought the land but not the treasure chest." The fellow who sold the piece of land said, "No, no, no, once I sold the piece of land, whatever is found in that must be yours, it cannot be mine." So they were fighting. Each were trying to disown, they were trying to disown the treasure chest. And the fighting became intense, so finally decided to go to the king and Yudhishthira. So they landed up in the court. So Yudhishthira is confused now, doesn't know what the hell to do. Luckily Krishna happened to be there. So he consulted Krishna, and Krishna said, "It's all right. Tell them to deposit the treasure chest and come back after 3 months." So Yudhishthira said, "Okay, let's go ahead, do what Krishna says." But then after those two men left, Yudhishthira asked Krishna, "How will this solve the problem?" Krishna said, "You will see how the scene changes drastically. Once the scene changes very dramatically, I cannot even predict what all things might come up. So it's all right. The scene will change dramatically, drastically, and you will be able to deal with it." And Krishna left. And subsequently Krishna Avatara was over, and Dwapara Yugam ended on the day when Krishna left his avatar. Kali Yugam had set in, and the milieu changed, the zeitgeist changed, the spirit of the times changed. Ghor Kali Yuga entered. 3 months passed, and the men came to Yudhishthira. Then Yudhishthira said, "Yeah, so what's your take now?" Yudhishthira realized that the two men are now quarreling for the treasure chest. Both were claiming it. Earlier they were disowning it. Now each fellow was saying, "It's mine, it's mine, it's mine." So the fellow who said he sold the land but not the chest, he didn't know that there was a chest. The fellow who bought the land said, "Well, when I bought the land, these are called appurtenances, Appurtenances. That means things that come along with the land, the tree, the stone, or whatever." So Yudhishthira said, "Okay, now it looks good." So he said, "Come back after 1 month." Case adjourned. In the meanwhile, Yudhishthira got the treasure appraised. Jewel appraisers were brought in, and they estimated the worth of that, all the gold and jewels and all that. So they arrived at a particular figure, and as soon as the figure was intimated, Yudhishthira called for the two men. He divided the worth of the treasure chest into 3 parts, gave 1/3 to each, and retained 1/3 as the court fees. Court fees. Adjudication fees. So this is how Kali Yuga is. This is how people have changed. So don't trust anybody except your parents. Respect all, suspect all, be vigilant, be very vigilant. Unfortunately, though I have been telling all these stories, I have myself been cheated, backstabbed, looted several times by the very people whom I trusted. So I hope at least you listen to these stories and do not trust anybody except Krishna and your parents. Jai Shri Ram.